Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Supercast. With me today is MSUHitman from the Checkmate Arcade. How are you doing today, sir?
I am doing fine. I'm glad that my voice is still going because I literally, yes, and I do mean literally, just got done recording episode 215 of Checkmate Arcade. I was getting ready to shut everything down, and again, you invited me on, so I appreciate it. I'm going to have to let you steer the ship a bit because it has been a while, but I assume we are here to talk about our favorite game, one of our favorite games at least of 2015, Life is Strange.
That is correct. I have an interesting side story before we dunk into the intricacies that is episode 4.
All right, please, go ahead.
So, my nephew calls me up one day, and he's like, do you still have your Polaroid camera? And I'm like, yes. Can I borrow it? I'm like, well, this seems rather interesting. After all this time of me having it, he wants to borrow it now.
Yeah.
So it turns out that he was looking at old photographs, and he was like, well, you know what? He got the idea from Life is Strange. See if my uncle has the Polaroid camera so I can be all retro.
Right.
I'm like, what the hell? Doesn't matter to me. I'm not using it. So, yeah, I let him borrow the huge thing. And it does look like the one that she had in episode 1.
Okay.
All huge and bulky as all hell.
Right.
Yeah, I still have the receipt. Thing cost me $30 back in 1999.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was still...
Yeah.
Much. See, here's the thing that makes me think of, so it's not a Polaroid style instant camera like that, but do you remember that new film style that they came out with in the mid-90s? Kodak was pushing it really hard, and you had cameras where there was a slider on it. You could change the picture between a 4x6, a 4x7, and a 4x11 panoramic. I forget the name of that film style off the top of my head, but when you turned it in, it printed like a negative sheet instead of having instead of having the big bulky roll of film. I mean, it was still a roll of film, but it didn't. On old cameras, not the instant cameras like are in Life is Strange, but the cameras where you would have the film negatives. You'd have the physical. Yeah. So instead of those negatives, you had a computer printout. So this was kind of like the half step between digital and analog. You would have a computer printout of all the pictures. So you could see, like, okay, I want all of them, or I don't want this one, I don't want that one, whatever.
Yep.
And Kodak also made a device you could hook up to the computer, and you put the roll of film in, and it would stretch it out, and you could scan without a scanner those photos into your computer. Because this is how I took those. I took photos all through high school and all through college at the various school events I went to. And then my scanner broke right before I graduated college, and that is a decade-old technology, and I actually donated all my college pictures to my old college dorm for them to put in a scrapbook. So I don't have any of the college pictures. I have the rolls of film, I have the negatives, but I have no way to get the pictures off.
Oh, that's too bad.
One of these days I'm going to scour eBay and see if I can find that Kodak scanner for this type of film. But yeah, so sorry about that, but yeah, that just made me think of that. And the other thing I haven't thought about, even though I've played all this Life is Strange, can you even still get that type of film anymore? Like, if somebody was actively in a photography school and was trying to go retro like that, like, does that film even exist? Because, like, Polaroid's, I thought, like, out of business, or... I mean, Kodak's...
I did find some of it on eBay.
Okay.
And it did say new, so...
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, so it's out there. Okay.
It's out there.
Okay.
And it's somewhat more expensive than I remember.
Yeah, I would imagine. I guess scarcity. Yeah, I mean that's probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's get right into it.
All right.
This is one of the more bizarre episodes yet.
Yeah.
Things really got what the you know?
Well, it starts off that way. It starts off that way because of how, and by the way, for the not to be a shameless plug, but you and I did do a spoiler cast of episode 3 that is on the Checkmate arcade feed.
Yep.
We did a podcast of that, so we have talked about Life is Strange before. So you ended the last episode with the alternate timeline and Chloe in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
So you knew that it was going to be crazy to start with.
Oh yeah. And boy, did it ever go dark fast.
Yeah. So you spend the day with Chloe, and it's like she's anticipating. I mean, the world has been. Oh gosh darn it, what club has been Vortex Club Max, that,
Yep.
you know, that has been the max of this reality until you come in and you're trying quote unquote normal max, and she's really happy, and she's trying to not let her struggles get by, she's trying to just enjoy the time with you, but you can tell, I mean, she's struggling, just to function. And you're going around, you're talking to her, you go back to her place, and you have to do some things for her. And I actually skipped. I didn't even realize. I was kind of worried. I don't know why. I kind of skipped all the optional dialogue that you could have with her dad.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. Either I felt uncomfortable, or I don't know why I skipped all that dialogue, because you can just not talk to him and just. But I've watched it since then, and you find out how much it's costing them to keep Chloe going.
Yeah.
This is America. This isn't Canada.
It became really sad. It's like all this money going down the drain just to keep her alive, and that's like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm convinced that no matter what universe it is, she's always messed up.
It seems that way.
Now, here's, full spoilers.
Yep.
Do you remember that part where Warren was drunk?
Yes, at the end.
A photograph was taken.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if for episode 5 you use that photograph to kind of fiddle around with things once you escape the clutches of the damn teacher.
Well, okay, so all right. So we already went. Yeah. So yeah, I'm disappointed in myself that I should have seen that coming. But I guess it's like when you're facing a baseball pitcher with a great curveball, at some point it's going to come, but it still comes and you just are frozen by it. I probably should have seen that coming, because it was just too simple. You had a whole episode to go. It was just everything was writing it was oh gosh darn, I'm getting my Until Dawn and this mixed up, because I've started that too. Not Warren. Help me out here, again. You the rich kid.
Oh, dagnabbit. Shoot. What the hell is his name? I kind of forgot.
Oh gosh, no! This is supposed to be fresh in your mind.
Well, it's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been for me as well. And then, like I told you, and like I talked about on Checkmate that's getting ready to come out, I've put in 240 hours of work between my 2 jobs in the last month, so it's kind of, I'm kind of.
Hold on. Dagnabbit, hold on. It's at the tip of my tongue. Will you hurry up and get out of my brain, Dagnabbit?
Not David.
No, not David. Can't believe it. It's at the tip of my tongue and it won't come out.
Life is Strange cast.
Well, the douchebag.
Yes.
Let's just leave it at that.
You're right.
Rather convenient that he was nowhere to be found.
Well, right, and I mean, it's just, he is painted as, I mean, you now, since we're already in kind of there, when Warren came to save you from him, did you let Warren go to town, or did you hold him back?
I felt it was justified, so I let Warren go to town.
Okay. See, I did as well. So, okay.
No, after all, he did pull out a gun, so you might as well get a butt whooping.
Yeah, and you do see him try to pull the gun, and then, then it gets kicked away.
So, a key thing here, which is going to bother me to no extent. She cannot use her powers while drugged.
Correct, yeah. That's kind of why I was worried about. I mean, what you were saying makes sense with the picture.
Mm-hmm.
But with it not being an optional picture, but how is that going to work with her drugged?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm thinking that she might get tossed in the woods or something, and then you get the whole hurricane thing to happen, and then she tries to find Warren somehow.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, she's gonna be in those damn woods sooner or later.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't get tossed in by whatever weird events happen in the next episode. Such a good game.
Yeah, definitely is. All right, so we kind of skipped by the first major choice of episode 4, which I don't know how it's going to connect with everything, but in terms of Chloe, so you spend the night with Chloe, and then when the morning comes, Chloe is she knows what it's costing to keep her alive. She's having problems and is getting worse. And she's at a point of no recovery. And it's just a slow, trail to eventual death. Yep. And she wants her last memory to be a full day with her best friend. And she asks you to end her life by a lethal dose of her, was it morphine or whatever it was she had you go get. She asked you to apply a lethal dose.
I believe it was, she asked you to up the morphine by a certain percentage that would just make her drift into death.
Right. So, and Nathan, of course, is
yes,
Nathan Prescott.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, you know what would be really strange? If it's Nathan that saves your ass.
Right, yeah, because that's kind of one of the theories. It's like, they're going to be him? Is it going to be Warren? Would it be Victoria if you were able to convince her? is Nathan a co-conspirator with Jefferson, and then now he has a change of heart, or
Yeah.
It's kind of all up in the air, really. But the question I wanted to get back to real quick, because it seems like I made an odd choice, and I'm just wondering. So did you apply the morphine? Did you kill her, or did you not?
It was tough. I was like, I had to think about it. And it was her dying wish, so I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. I thought a full 10 minutes. Okay, I did as well, and a coworker of mine that's also playing the game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm glad somebody else did, because a coworker of mine that's playing the game, she thought I was just crazy for. Well, okay, sorry. Yeah, it's just it was me trying to find the forum for. It is me trying to find the forum for to get Nathan's name, but so it took me like 10 minutes, and then a friend of mine that is also playing the game, coworker, she just thought I was a horrible person for having done that, but at least you did it as well, so I don't feel quite as bad now. But,
well, it's what she wanted.
Right.
She wanted that one last kick-ass memory, and that was it.
Yeah. I was kind of in that same boat as well, and I think that choice I made now would probably have been different years ago. Like back when I was in college, I probably wouldn't have done that. But now, older and stuff, I think my opinion on that type of stuff has changed, because I went through the Jack Kevorkian. It wasn't anywhere near me, but I am like I made that reference about Kevorkians. Like, yeah, I pulled a Kevorkian, and this coworker who's like 22, 23 was like, what? Who? Because, she was like a 6-year-old kid or whatever when Kevorkian was in the news, so she didn't get the reference. But, so I was through that national discussion on this type of stuff, so. Okay, I was just curious about that. So, after that, Max rewinds time again with the power, looking at the picture she took of the day she changed things, so then she lets it go back, and then everything rewinds itself back to where it was, and then you start the next day in Chloe's bedroom. You do some detective work, which a lot of people complained about, but I was able to get through it pretty easily. I might have messed up a thing once or twice, but I was able to get through that part pretty easily. That's kind of like, from what I've read online, that's kind of like the second most complained about part of the game, next to the junkyard from episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
But, you get through that, you find this old barn, and you find the dark room. And you see all the crazy stuff there, and you see these pictures of all these girls, and you see this blank folder with Victoria's name on it. So then you go to the party. Warren's drunk. He takes the picture that you mentioned earlier. You get to the party looking for Victoria. Depending on your choices with the Vortex Club, you may or may not have to do some shenanigans to get to the VIP area. And then you confront Victoria, and your attitudes towards her determine whether or not she listens to you about your warning. And then Jefferson announces Victoria as the winner of the Everyday Heroes contest. Then you get a text message from supposedly Nathan or something, has you go out to the graveyard, or not the graveyard, but essentially the graveyard, but the junkyard.
The junkyard, yeah.
You get a text or something that's supposedly from Nathan, and you go there, and the big swerve happens that we kind of spoiled earlier. you get knocked in the head, and Chloe had a gun, but she gets shot before she can fire, and oh no, you don't get knocked in the head, you get knocked with the needle. You get stabbed with the needle, and you can't rewind. You're going out because of the drugs. You see Chloe gets shot before she can pull the weapon, and as you're falling asleep, you focus in just briefly, and the person who drugged you was Jefferson.
Yeah.
And then you get a very brief
switch.
Yeah. And then you get a brief clip of episode 5 with you trapped in the dark room and begging Jefferson to stop. That's where it ends. And we're probably within a few weeks of having episode 5, because episode 4 came out, beginning of August?
Was it beginning of August?
Pretty close. I don't want my connection to go bad again trying to look, but it was early August.
Oh, let's see here. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it probably was early August. They're saying that episode 5 might be, well, that's wrong, because we're past that date. Well, this website is out of the loop.
Episode 4, release date. Okay, it was July 28th. Yeah. It was Tuesday the 28th. So,
and hopefully, maybe sometime next week, we'll get episode 5.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so July 28th. So it has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are at 6. We are at 7 weeks from the last episode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Friday, Tuesday, the 15th will be 7 weeks. So we are due soon. Not seen a patch yet, but we are due soon. So I cannot wait. Now, you're playing this on PC? I take it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I wish you, if you get a chance, since it'll only be on PS4, it's not going to come to PC. You really should watch someone's playthrough of Until Dawn, since you're such a big fan of Life is Strange. I think you'd really like Until Dawn.
Really?
Yes.
All right, I'll have to make a note of that.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of playthroughs of it on YouTube. It was the number one viewed. It was the number one video. It's like the number one trending game, or however that's determined, on YouTube for August was Until Dawn. And it's up there on Twitch as well. So any number of people on YouTube have playthroughs of it that you could watch. You know, big and small. Okay. So I know Steven, my co-host from Checkmate Arcade and your friend as well, he's watching Screw Attack's Achievement Hunter playthrough of it. Ah.
Oh, you know what? And now it's come the time for me to plug a Retro World Expo. It's happening next month. I'm going to be there. The Game Chasers are going to be there. It's in Oakdale Theater in Wilbraham, Connecticut. It's a one-day event that is only $25.
Okay, that's pretty good for one day. I mean, are there going to be? Is it basically a vendor room? Are there any panels?
Yeah, there's panels. Basically, most of the retroware people are going to be there, along with some other YouTubers. And they're gonna be doing the one of the years of one of the historical years. I forget what the name of that.
The video game years.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
So that should be the highlight of it all when they do the video game years live, because they're enjoyable videos.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, Pat, NES Punk. I think that's kind of. I mean, there's a lot of them there. But he's kind of the head of that, I think, and Yeah, those are all really great. And then IGN kind of took that idea and did something similar. I mean, they've been doing their own, like, they haven't been doing it as quite a complete retrospective. They've just been doing it as, oh, here's awesome games and movies from each year.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's not been a complete thing like the Retro Rare is, but you could tell probably somebody saw that and was like, oh, let's do an IGN version of that. Because they've been doing it as well. So, what was the date again?
October 3rd.
October 3rd. And it's just one day. It's not two.
Yep, just one day. I think they're testing out the waters.
Okay. Well, if you see the Game Chasers, you know, I'm a big fan of theirs. I love watching their show. They've got, you know, them and Pat the NES Punk. I mean, started listening to his podcast. They've gotten me more interested in retro stuff. You know, I don't have the room to hook up, you know, retro consoles right now where I'm living, but, you know, it made me definitely get a better handle on what's in my collection. And, you know, my cousin is big into retro because he can't play the newer games. He gets headaches with any of the current, like, 3D cameras and stuff.
You know, sometimes I get headaches, too, from the fast motions.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. You and him have a similar thing, so he can only play, like, the only thing he plays is the 2D stuff, and he collects that, and I have more games than he does, but he has rarer stuff than I do. Like,
so as you can see in the link, you got the Gaming Historian, Pixel Dan, Game Chasers, Lance Cortez, and of course the John D, Eric Lappy or Lepu or however you say that, Alpha Omega Sin.
Okay, I was wondering about Alpha.
Banjo Guy Oli. You got Rue. He should be funny to talk to.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good cast of people, you know, and there's bands too, so it should be fun.
Yeah, I've been trying to get my cousin, but the problem is now, well, it's not a problem, but I should rephrase that, but I've been trying to convince my cousin to go to one of these conventions similar to this.
All right, hold on a second.
Right, because he's a prison guard, so he gets limited vacation time that he normally spends, you know, taking his wife out, and now he's about to become a father. I'm about to become, if I'm his first cousin, does that make me an uncle?
Does it?
I don't know. Because we're not brothers, we're cousins. I guess that just makes us cousins or something. I don't...
Yeah, I guess so. Something like that.
Yeah, because it's not a true uncle because we're not brothers, but essentially an uncle. So, yeah, so, you know, they're due here soon, so that probably means he would never, you know, leave her with him. They did find out it's a boy. Did you know that the trend now is to have parties where you open up the sealed envelope and reveal the sex of the child? That's a thing.
Oh, really?
That's a thing now. Yes, because my cousin and his wife had one at his wife's insistence. It's called a viewing party. What was it called? A viewing party, or it's a legitimate thing. I never. Granted, I don't have that much family that's you know of younger age to have kids, but it's called like a viewing party or something.
Okay.
Revealing party. That's what revealing party. I thought it was the weirdest freaking thing, like if my family was from California, okay, I would get it, but like Southern Illinois, this is a thing?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Oh, so it looks like it's all in one room because I'm looking at the map set up here.
Okay. Well, okay, so that's got to be the vendor room then, but I wonder where they're doing the video.
Panel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure there'll be more in upcoming, or because all those guys have their own website now, because they kind of separate from Retroware a bit. I mean, what is it? FinalBosses.com, I think is the name of it. Because I know Game Chasers, Alpha Omega Sin, GameSack, I think Rue, and a couple of the other 8-Bit Eric, they're all on that site. And they do exclusive content just for that site versus, I mean, they also still have their YouTube, but...
Yeah, it's good to see, even in this day and age, there's still love for retro.
Yeah. Well, we just had a big 20-minute discussion on Checkmate about the Mega Man Legacy Collection.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if that was on PC, but I don't think it is. I think it's just console right now. Maybe it is. No, maybe it is on PC. I don't know. That might be on Steam. That might actually be on Steam. It's 15.
Mega Man Legacy, was it?
Mega Man Legacy Collection.
All right. Let me look it up. Let's see here.
Yeah, it's on Steam. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's $15.
Collection on Steam. Yeah,
it's
not bad.
It's $15. It's Mega Man 1 through 6. It is the straight NES versions, all the good and bad with the NES versions, unlike that PS2 collection where they clean stuff up. It's straight emulations of Mega Man 1 through 6. You get artwork and soundtracks and other behind-the-scenes stuff with the games. You also get a challenge mode where you'll have to take down a boss as quickly as possible, or remixes of the levels, or do a boss rush of all the bosses from a particular game. So I would highly recommend that. I mean, be watching that for a Steam sale.
So this happened literally 3 or 4 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was surprised on how much money these guys were able to get for their video game project. Do you remember a comic book called Battle Chasers?
No.
Okay, so basically, it was this kind of adventure type deal where you had 3 or 4 characters and they were going on quests and stuff.
Okay.
Well, they recently, if I can look at the date that this started, I think it was the 8th, if I remember correctly. And they already have the more than the pledge, which was $500K, to make this into a RPG game for let's see here, for Xbox One, PS4, Macintosh, and Windows. So it's going to be out for everything, which was quite impressive. I was like, whoa. First of all, you haven't heard from this guy in a long time, and then he comes out with a Kickstarter, and it's like, man, he still has the fan base. Check that out.
Okay.
So this might be a game that, if you like JRPGs, you might like this one.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I'll be perfectly honest, I've never done a Kickstarter, so... But yeah, I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Yeah, they, it's crazy. It's not even a few days old, and they already have, their goal.
Yeah, the thing that I was trying to remember, I was interested in possibly doing if I was going to break the Kickstarter cherry. There was somebody that was going to document Midway video games.
Really?
Yeah, from Chicago. Yeah, do a whole documentary about Midway. I don't know what the status of that is, but I know that was on Kickstarter here recently.
Well, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for when this game gets released. See how good it is. if you look at the trailer, you can see that they put some work into it.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting, you know.
All right.
I don't know if this is going to take place after the story, because he had a comic book that went up to 9 issues, then he dropped it for whatever reason. So I'm not sure if this is a continuation or like an Elseworld story or what. I'm not sure. But it looks good. I'm liking it. Graphics look pretty nice.
All righty. Well, there's our retro picks then. I guess mine's the Mega Man Legacy Collection, and yours is the Kickstarter game here, the Battle Chasers. So.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Now, with that note, I think it's a good time to put an end to this cast. Before we go, I always ask this website you would like to give props to before we get going.
I'm gonna say that I'm not directly associated with, but Cheap Ass Gamer. If you're wanting to, you know, if you're on a limited budget and you're wanting to still be able to get games at really good prices, the deals for them on cheapassgamer.com. A lot of the highlighted deals are also on @VideoGameDeals on Twitter. I know the person that runs that account for CAG. Great place to go if you're wanting the latest and best deals on games.
All right. And with that note, we're out of here. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.